All right, so we've turned the music down a little bit because Gar is the best beatboxer around for Final Fantasy VI, right? I guess.
Yo, 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 it's MC Gar, and I'm gonna lay down some fat beats for y'all to vibe to. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we should do like a Final Fantasy VI acapella thing. Tryouts coming soon.
Oh
Anyways,
yeah, the smooth the groove style.
there you go. I am the Schwantz27, and I'm joined in the booth by Gar. What's up, Gar?
Hey, Schwantz,
Hey,
how
hey.
are you?
Hey, hey. So you may be thinking to yourself, wait a second, hold up, Schwantz. It says Gar versus Zenobia on the screen right now. I know what it says on the screen right now. What we're doing is we're doing sort of an Ultros League Week 3 race review. Gar and Zenobian had a pretty epic head-to-head sort of race for their Week 3 seed. And I want to sort of feature this race because it was a very close race. And we want to get some thoughts out of Gar. Unfortunately, Zenobian is too busy raiding tonight, so he won't be able to join us. But I could certainly ask him some questions as they come up in the chat. And think of this more as sort of like a... it'll be sort of like a half race, half interview type of thing. Because I have Gar here who was in this race, and he's not going to spoil a lot of it, I promise.
I
But
mean, I remember almost zero of this race. It's definitely one of the races that I've ever done in my whole Worlds Collide career. So, you all will learn as I learn, and isn't that really like a treat?
yeah, it's definitely wonderful. Yeah, or you could do what Arista says and believe that Gar is simultaneously commentating a race while running it at the same time.
I would never.
Yeah, because you guys saw the clip that I posted in the Discord about what happens when you try to commentate curse your own race, right? Anyway, so yeah, this is Ultros League Week 3, and we're going to kind of go over, what Gar did during this race, and we'll see how it all shakes out. And this is your chance in the chat to ask questions of, some of these runners to see how their thought process is during a race and see how it goes on. This will be pretty interesting, I think, for newer players, and it's even interesting to me to try and decipher what tactics some of our players use during their races. So, what do you say we give this thing a shot, huh?
Yeah, let's give it a spin. Worth noting too that I haven't seen Zenobian's run of this at all, so it'll actually be interesting for me to see what he does.
All right, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up the race, and once it does, basically it's going to go essentially right into it. So any other first thoughts before we kick this off?
Only I want to address a question by Arusta in chat who asks, so once we see starting characters, can you walk us through your thought process to how you started with these guys? And as soon as I see them, I will tell you.
Because you remember what you have, right?
Definitely 100%.
All right.
But I mean, like, my thought process is basically the same across
Hold on.
all of them, so.
All right, so yeah, so here's our lovely race queued up. We've got on the left hand side, we've got Gar in the black on fuchsia, or is that mauve? Like what color would you say that is there?
I was going with like sexy pink, but apparently that just didn't come through my stream.
No,
So,
no,
uh, yeah, we'll call it. Is it mauve? Mauve?
mauve. Uh,
Malvi.
yeah, sure, one of those. And then Zenobian with the standard blue and white. So here we go. We are going to start our race, and then I'll kick off the timer once we go. And we'll see who our characters get. And Gar, you could sort of explain to us what your thought process is once you see who these characters are. Edgar, Locke, and Noir.
Edgar Locke tomorrow. So ideally, what I want to do is not shop at all, unless it's like World of Ruin South Figaro or World of Balance. Figaro Castle. And the reason why is because Edgar, if he is the party lead, will give you a 50% discount. Now, as far as whether or not I actually stick to that advice, it's kind of a crapshoot. Very often, and probably in this seed too, I will buy things that I shouldn't, like Phoenix Downs, just because it's a force of habit. But For the most part, I try to keep my shopping to a minimum, although there are exceptions. So, for example, if I see warp stones, I'm liable to just buy those right away. If I see super balls, and I can't remember if this is a super ball seed or not. I think this one is. But if I see super balls, I tend to just buy them as soon as I see them.
Yeah. Oh, I like what you're doing here. You're going to peek the Umaro spot to see if it's going to be a character or Esper or not.
Yes, exactly.
And we know it's Mog.
And I see a Moogle up there, so worst case scenario, I know that I can pick up a character there. And actually, because Mog got some nice buffs as far as his checks go, he is a great sight to see.
Yeah, Season 3 of Ultros League, Mog gets a new check, and Kefka Narsh gets a buff with ending up at, snipers for everybody, so you buy one right away.
Yes, I do. Sniper it's not the best weapon, but it's up there.
Ugh. Well, Battle Curse Shield probably not getting done this seed. So, Zenobian decided to go to World of Ruin Narsh, and this is what I always do whenever I have luck. I immediately go here, I get my 10 treasure chests, I pick up the Curse Shield, I get my free check. Why did you decide to go to World of Balance Narsh instead of World of Ruin Narsh here?
So, the reason why I do that is because, one, there's some chests in there. It's fairly loot dense, so I can just go ahead and loot it right there. You do save a little bit of time by not waiting for the, unlocking the door.
Yeah, but you gotta talk to that annoying
ultimately
guy.
Consequential. Yeah, well, I mean, I don't usually go in there until later. That ends up being a wash. But the more important thing is that there are shops in World of Balance South Figaro.
Mm-hmm.
And shopping, especially early game, is one of the most powerful things that you can do. There's so many options available to you. I mean, heck, I just picked up a sniper. Sniper by itself can carry you through. I mean, it is an in-game weapon, so. And there you see, I do find warp stones and super balls. Here, I hold off on the super balls just because I don't really have a whole lot of money to begin with. They're 17K.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so,
they are twice as much as they normally are in this season of Ultros League as well.
Yeah. So my thought process at this point is, I am guaranteed to go and check Edgar's. Figaro Castle.
Okay. Just not yet.
And yeah, not quite yet. I think I want to do. Where the heck am I going? Oh, I'm doing this first. Okay.
Oh, okay. All right. This is a play.
I mean,
I actually do like going Phoenix Cave whenever I have lock. I usually go World of Ruin Narsh, then Albrook, then Tizen, then Phoenix Cave, and then after Phoenix Cave, then I make my decision as to where to go. Right? But
yeah,
it looks like you want some more. You want some more stuff.
I basically incorporated this as part of my loot path.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a bonus that at the end of it there happens to be potential progression. I think it was an Esper at the end of it. It wasn't dead, so I don't know why I did this before going to South Figaro. I guess it's just to get more items to sell. I guess that was my thought process at the time.
Alright, and here we see Zenobian going back into the World of Balance. He's going to hit up Returners, so he's going to also find those Super Balls as well. Now, with these three characters, we have the potential to do a bunch of free checks, right? Locke has Narsh Weapon Shop and Phoenix Cave, where you don't have to fight anything, and you could also do Figaro Throne. How far are you ratcheting up the progression? Does that depend upon the characters you have and the abilities that they have?
In part, yeah. I'm more likely to jack it up if I see somebody with, like Throw, for example, or Magitech. Even base Magitech with the beams is very powerful early game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's basically, a tier 2 level spell for each of the three elementals, right? But it's only single target, which, whatever, it is what it is. I didn't see what abilities our characters had, actually.
I don't think that they were too consequential.
I mean, Yeti is smash, but the other two.
Yeah, Yeti hit real hard, and that's a
Yeti go burr, literally.
That's yeah. But To actually answer the question, I don't typically go more than +2 or +3 on the checks before I start leveling up, but that is like very highly dependent on what I find. I mean, like, I know that there are super balls in this seed, so I might be inclined to go pretty high just because super balls can carry you through more or less everything in the early game.
Yeah, because it's, random multiple of 256 damage to a random amount of targets, so it doesn't matter. You could scale up the game as high as you want. The super ball is still going to hit the same no matter what.
Yeah, exactly.
And you want to loot to get things to sell to go buy said super balls, right? So.
Falcon Hit pointing out in chat that with super balls, he'd be going for the Narsh Dragon as the first fight, and I don't normally disagree with that. I would also say, though, that dragons give more EXP as the game scales. So, if you want to do it early, it's a fine play. If you want to do it late, I think it's also a fine play.
Ooh, nice
and
pick
Siren
up there.
Esper.
Atma weapon in a box there for Zenobians, so that'll come back into play later on in the seed for either Edgar or Locke can naturally equip that. Yeah, because we do have Yeti, right? And you did peek that there was a Moogle up there, so if you want to do that, you could do Narsh Dragon into Tritok into Yeti. The problem is, this is like the scared Schwantz, I guess, is like, okay, I got enough super balls for one fight, but what if that second fight is disgusting? What if it's like spicy chicken or Magi Master or something ridiculous I can't get past? I'm sort of stuck now having to double dip that set of checks, right? So it's one of those, it's a very risky play.
It is. The advantage for this particular seed is, again, you've got super balls, and if you run into something like spicy chicken early, super balls, you throw 2 or 3 of them, and assuming you get pretty lucky on the rolls, it should be dead.
I'm meaning like as the second or third fight after you've already thrown all your super balls at the first boss, right?
Yeah.
That's me being, oh god, what's gonna happen here? All right, so maybe we'll see what our characters have. It doesn't look like Zenobian's gonna uncurse the shield here. I think 12 is too much. 9 is probably my limit.
Yeah, I'm a little bit flexible depending on if I have a ribbon or not. But 12, I don't think I do in any circumstance unless I'm just so incredibly desperate, and I've yet to run a seed where I've been that desperate. And speaking of ribbon,
there's a ribbon there. So Zenobian taking off the Moogle charm here. So with these 3 characters, we have Edgar and Locke and Yeti. We don't have any checks that naturally have forced encounters in them. Right, so we're going to have to get our early levels from somewhere. Gar, you said, I'm going to use super balls to just power through the bosses and get my early levels. Zenobian wants to take off the Moogle charm while looting the South Figaro basement. And I have become more and more a fan of doing that, because at least you're fighting battles as you're doing something, you're looting, versus running back and forth across the same couple of pixels. I don't know why, that just annoys me.
and that's, I mean, I've had to do that a handful of times. I don't think I do it here. I might.
Yeah, I think when Gar checked the snipers, Locke and Edgar and Yeti could all use the sniper. But you had only bought one, right? Because that was in Narsh, we only had enough money for one, and we almost got a sync here. Another Atma weapon.
Yeah.
So that's 2 for Zenobian. I don't know if you picked up the second one or not.
I think I do eventually pick up the second one. I'm pretty sure I dipped my toe into World of Balance Narsh at some point. If I'm not mistaken, one of my party members, like, there is an offering in the seed, and I find a Genji glove somewhere. So that's somebody's offense figured out.
Yeah. Ooh, nice flame shield in a box there. So going to the World of Ruin, South Figaro, means that you get half off the shops with Edgar. So I understand why, with an Edgar start, you only go to the World of Ruin. We got slot, I think, for Locke is what I saw, which is okay, in the early and mid game, but you're going to want to give him something else to do.
Yeah. I can't remember if I give him Atma weapons or not. I think I find Setzer.
Hey, come
And
on,
he actually
spoiler
had...
alert. Let's go. Here we go.
Sorry. I find somebody with a higher vigor than Locke. That might be another seed. I don't remember.
No, I like how you're trying to backtrack that now.
Look, the seed bleed is real. Okay, I don't know.
I don't even remember the seeds I've run yesterday.
Yeah, this was like 2 weeks ago. It was horrible. Yeah, and I just pawn off the ribbon there.
Okay. Yeah. Interesting that you pawned it off without going to even check the curse shield.
Yeah, I think that was a mistake in retrospect, but my thought process at the time was that I needed money more than...
There's some cheap Super Balls.
Yeah, and so when I go and... Because I think I go to... the Figaro Castle right after this, and my thought process there is, if there's Super Balls there, I buy them. If there's not Super Balls there, then I go back to Returner's Cave and buy them there. And then I start doing, like, real actual checks.
Yep. So we don't know what the reward is on the throne. Zenobine is keeping us waiting with bated breath, but here you go. Gar going to the same spot. Oh, wow. Gal with Blitz and 40 magic power. That's a gal.
Blitz and X Magic. I think I wind up using X Magic over Blitz for the most part of this run. Definitely at the end game. 40 magic power. Bum Rush is very powerful, but it's fairly uncommon that you get to level 42 in order to actually pick it up.
Definitely takes some time. Yeah, get your fancy Gao emotes in the chat.
Yeah.
So, I noticed that both of you did not put your party down to 3. I'm guessing that's probably because you either did not find dried meat yet, or you don't want to run up the progression too much.
I don't think I found dried meat, no. And even if I did, there's like a 70% chance that I would just forget to go down to 3.
Yeah.
So yeah, there I find smoke bombs and the super balls.
The super cheap super balls.
Yeah.
Zenobine gonna go right for a boss right away here at Tunnel Armor. You could heal both before and afterwards, although I don't think he did any grinds, actually, right? He noped out of that.
Yeah, he noped out of the one fight, so... which, to be fair, Barbie Samurai Sariander is kind of rough.
And this is not a fight you want to see with Super Balls.
Yeah, Super Balls here are kind of rough.
Alright, so Edgar's got Morph, it looks like. So we got slots and Morph. Yeah, Zenobine reluctantly using those Super Balls, but you know what? If you find them for cheap, you find them for half price.
Okay, so my original plan was that I was gonna go and do a dragon. Then I see Gal, and basically I just tunnel vision into doing Serpent Finch.
Which is weird, because normally when you find Super Balls, you don't want to do this type of check. That is a sick Esper, though.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. I don't know. I don't know, because any levels that you get are going to be good. And this check is somewhat lengthy, but if you get half-decent encounters, and I think I get some decent ones. I think my first ones are Nightshades? I might be wrong about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, experience is very, very, very valuable. So, like, even if I opted to... doing either a dragon or doing this, I think either of those would have been fine options. And I'm going to do dragons anyway, so I might as well do it once the progression's scaled up.
Yeah. I understand that. I understand that thought process behind scaling some stuff up, by getting some more rewards. I just want to take advantage of the fact that I have Super Balls early, and I'd rather use them on a boss, right, than on random enemies, so that's why I would gravitate towards checks with bosses versus, fixing counter checks.
That's fair. So I use Super Balls on these Nightshades because Nightshades are incredibly dangerous because of Charm. You can see that I Mugu'd the Nightshades there for a full 15 points of damage, or 15 points of healing.
Meanwhile, Zenobine finds a murder child, and there goes Yeti to the bench. Yeah, unfortunately, I think the Nightshade flag is off, or the no charm flag is on. whatever
That
it is.
is correct.
So even finding Nightshade would be nice if it wasn't, but that's not the way it is. Zenobian leaning into the checks that were found by his new character here, Realm. So this is a pretty fast one. I tend to save the Esper Mountain check for later because you can peek it and it's fast.
Yeah, I tend to do the same thing. I was going to say something and then I forgot what it was. Nah, it's fine, it's fine.
Yeah, so Zeno already at level 11 here. I didn't see what was on his Esper, but it's probably not as good as your Esper, because he got the one from the weapon shop versus you got the one from Phoenix Cave.
Yeah. And I think I end up picking up the Tzimthi Vesper, or weapon shop. Weapon. That's Narsh. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. Alright, so we can peek and see what this reward is, and it is a ghost. So it's either an Esper or an item here. Now, since you have 4 characters already and you know where a 5th one is, are you going to tend to lean into checks that you would favor as Esper checks, like Tritok Cliff and the Narsh Weapon Shop, or do you want to just get to 6 characters as fast as possible here?
Nah, at this point, I want to go for Espers. That's where the bulk of the power is going to lie. I wouldn't mind. I mean, like, you can go for Mog right now, and I think that's totally fine, just because Umaro is... well, he's Umaro. He's fantastic in the... He's fantastic in the early game, don't get me wrong. Even if the best part of him is just the fact that he's got a snow muffler stapled to him.
Yeah.
But, I mean, beyond that, like, his stats are... pretty incredible across the board, and he's a big beat stick.
Oh, another character. Oh, jeez.
Yeah, this was a very character-heavy scene.
Characters falling out of the skies here. Diane with Rage, not a combo you'd like to see.
I did just get that Nightshade. That's what it was. You can still use the Nightshade Rage. It's just that Charm is replaced with the ability Poison Pod, which is significantly worse.
Fair enough. Oh, there's some good stuff in that armor shop, huh?
Red Jacket, Thunder Shields, Red Jackets. I look, I'm like, I don't think I can sell anything, so I have to duck out. And I can't remember if I ever come back. And then a Magastrad there, I kind of chuckle at that too.
Yeah, getting NPC blocked a little bit here. Meanwhile, Zenobian versus Flame Eater does not have the right stuff to deal with Flame Eater, but is leaning on slots, and like I said, slots is pretty decent in the early and mid game.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Flash, Chocobop, H-Bomb if the game will let you cast it. All pretty phenomenal, and you can hit it, regularly. So.
All right, so let's see what this ghost is here for Zenobian. It's an Ice Shield. So, a dead check, but yeah, his Esper is significantly worse than the one that you picked up, so at least he could start learning some tier 2 elemental spells on some of his, users there. So, that's what he'll do. And you're leading into the Cyan checks now.
Yes, indeed. The good thing about picking up Cyan there is that Doma is basically just a hop, skip, and a jump.
Alright, this is not a character here.
If I remember correctly, this check was dead. This may be the one that gave me the Genji glove. I might be wrong about that.
Alright, well, we do have Ghost Train, and you do have somebody with Blitz with Aura Bolt, which is nice. I see you had Break, but I don't think we have an insta-death unless you can cobble one out of this one here. Aloe Vera would do it. I think he casts Zoom.
I don't remember like 90% of the rages. So Ghost Train has a pretty high magic defense. But since Wooly is like the only thing that I know actually gives me decent damage, I just Rage Wooly and...
Yeah. It's unfortunate that Cyan's magic power is 26.
Yeah, that's
you are getting some. You're getting the business in chat for not suplexing this train here. We might have to retroactively go back and disqualify your run.
I don't believe I actually have access to suplex at this level.
It's only level 10.
I don't know what level I am.
Oh, God.
Oh, Margaret says I'm level 11. All right, yeah, you can just go ahead and invalidate my run. It's
all right. Well, we're gonna have to go back and change the points here. And,
I know, I get it.
So it doesn't matter what the official run says. Gar has lost.
Yeah, it sucks to suck, you know.
So then immediately, see, I would have gone straight to the dream here with. Oh, God. You just went to the World of Ruin and turned around and boom. Instant Inferno.
The instant I pressed the A button, I ran into him. And I didn't save, so I'm like, oh no, this is potentially very bad.
I do have Super Balls, but yeah, this is also a boss where Super Balls are not that great against him.
I have Super Balls, I have double Ice 3s, I have an Ice Rod here, and I think I do actually wind up popping a Super Ball.
Meanwhile, Zenobian fighting his way through the Serpent Trench. He will pick up his 6th character at the end of this. So, when you run into this many characters early on, are you thinking about the skip right away, or are you just saying, you know what, if it comes, and if not a big deal?
Nah, I basically start thinking of skip. If I have, I'm at 5-1 right now, I'm already thinking of skip. Which, that's not really a situation you want to be in. You really just want to get more Espers, and I'm hoping that this is an Esper, but I think this check is also dead.
Yeah, well, especially because we don't have access to Setzer here, so we don't know that we could potentially get this later on in the game. So this is something that you don't think your opponent will be getting here.
It is a decent chunk of XP. The Force Shield is, well,
you learn some spells.
It's a Force Shield.
You did learn some spells, and
I did.
And I think you might be heading on the total Narsh loop now.
I really hope I do. If I walk out of here after doing Narsh Weapon Chop, then I was wrong for doing so.
Looking for an offering for that sniper, and
I mean, I have 2 Atma weapons.
Which is not terrible. Yeah, 2 Atma weapons and 1 sniper. You want an offering.
And I want an offering. Which I do get one, and I think it's actually from a dragon. It might be this dragon.
Yeah. Very interesting plays here. Alright, so at this point in the seed, are you like, yeah, I shouldn't even bother checking the curse shield because I've done a whole bunch of stuff, or in your opinion, is it never too late to check the curse shield counter?
I would say at this, like, I think I'd go and check it now, and I think at this point it's fine to do so, but there is a point towards the end of the game where you're like, maybe I shouldn't check it. For example, if you get Locke as your 6th character, and like, say you're like six characters, 7 Espers or something like that, I probably wouldn't go and check it. But here, I'm 5-2. I still have a lot of game left to play, so there's no harm. Unfortunately, it being the number 12, yeah, it's just not a good number.
Yeah.
Okay, and I do scale the mountain, so thank God.
Yeah, because you're at least looking for 1 more character and 7 more Espers, so that's at a, if you're fighting all bosses for that, that's 8 more fights, right, at least. So, plus anything you can do in Kefka's Tower as well, right, so.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen 2 Atma weapons, so I know that levels are going to be just super, super important. And yeah, Locke's magic magic power, Jesus, is 36, which is
That's
pretty
pretty
decent.
high for him.
Yeah. So I think what I do is make him a caster.
Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, can Cyan equip the Atma weapons?
I don't think he can. I think I wind up replacing Cyan.
Okay.
Which everybody should replace Cyan unless he's got something really good going for him. You need to get Cyan out of your party. He sucks. He sucks so badly that even his wife and kid left him.
Wow. That's some real talk there.
Look, I speak but the truth. Also, you can now see how just horrible I am at blitz inputs. I have never been able to do them right. It doesn't matter if I'm rolling the D-pad or if I'm tapping the D-pad. I will screw it up. It's just a thing that happens.
You somehow managed to get ridiculous rolls on Super Balls even this far late into the seed. So.
Yeah, well, that's because...
There's your offering there.
There's my offering, yeah.
51,000 for that item at Zen, so not looking like an Esper there. And you just gained a couple of levels with that dragon fight, and you learned a bunch of spells, which is nice. So at this point, you're thinking party composition-wise, Gao and Locke cast. Edgar is going to use the, the sniper for now and the Atma weapon later, and then I need another character to substitute in for Cyan, and you're hoping that Mog will have some better stats on him here, right?
More or less, yeah. Yeah, Ultros 4, everybody knows Ultros 4, everybody loves Ultros 4. If you don't love Ultros 4, you're wrong. I'm just kidding. Ultros 4 sucks.
So Zenobian into the Colosseum finds an Illumina trade for a tincture, and it's a pretty easy fight too. Unfortunately, what is Realm gonna do? Okay, Realm actually does the right thing there. So this is an interesting play from Zenobian because I don't think he found or didn't register that there were the snipers, the same that you got. So it looks like he's gonna go all Luminas, and that's what his Locke and Edgar are going to do.
If only I had bothered to go to the Colosseum.
Yeah. Well, so is that even a thought that crosses your mind, going to the Colosseum? Or is it just unless you find absolutely nothing? Which in this seed, you didn't find out. You found some good stuff in it.
I'm more likely to go if after my loot path, I don't find anything useful. Alternatively, if I have Umaro in the start, which I did, I'm much more likely to go, but in this case, I just wound up not. So that Palador has Strength +2. I slapped that sucker on Edgar, and then... Okay, yeah, this is that seed. I moved that Esper to a secret hidden character later on. And I'm not sure if that was the correct move, but also I'm not convinced that it mattered all that much.
Yeah. So that Genji glove that we found from the Dome of Siege goes with 2 Illuminas there for Edgar, and you're still looking for another offering because you have multiple Atma weapon at this point. Is that your idea?
Oh heck! At this point, I don't even know what I'm doing. Like I'm like, oh yeah, let's break this guy.
So why are we fighting this fight?
The break misses here, and I'm like, oh, you know what? I think I'm just dumb, and then I smoke bomb out.
Yeah, that was the right thing to do. It was a smoke bomb out.
So, I think I'm actually looking for Gigantos over Katana Soul, although I'd be happy to find either of them.
Right,
and then I find neither, and I just waste like a cool 30 seconds doing nothing. So
yeah, Monster in a Boxes are certainly one of those things where, I know that some runners will never dig in them, and then I will dig in it only if I have something to look for. We know that you're going to get Mog here for your 6 characters, so let's hope Mog has got some better equipables than Cyan does. Meanwhile, Zenobian heading to Mount Zozo. We'll see if he fights the dragon here. Oh, you also fought a dragon. Let me give you one of those. There you go.
Yeah.
And it's yet another Ultros.
Also, spoiler, I think I fight every Ultros in this scene.
Well, we're at Ultros count of 2.
And this is one of the better ones. Ultros 1, just because of his cool sprite.
Well, I like that his death animation is just like peace out versus like the crack pow and all that. Although all of his death animations are pretty easy, right? Mog with Sketch, and Sketch is staying on the bench.
I think that was a mistake. Again, it wound up not mattering in this particular instance, but because Sketch now uses the caster's magic power, and Mog, I think, had 37, if I saw that right.
Yeah, 37, yep.
It would have been a better choice than the raging Cyan with 28 magic power. But what are you gonna do? You know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, hindsight's 20/20, right? All right, so it looks like you're going to Doma now. Question from the chat: now that you just picked up Mog, are you going to tend to avoid Mog's checks because they may lead to other characters because of Worlds Collide is deeper than it is wide, or are you just going Esper hunting essentially now, and it doesn't matter what the checks are as long as they're fast?
Yeah, at this point, I'm more Esper hunting than anything else. I have 6 characters. I don't really have too much of an incentive to go hunting for more. So, with that in mind, I like doing something like Doma Siege, or excuse me, Doma Dream, because it's 3 checks, and 2 of which can be Espers, or excuse me, all 3 of which can be Espers.
Yeah.
And one of which is guaranteed to be either a character or an Esper. There we go. Those are the words I meant to say.
Yeah, those are words. Zenobian picks up his second Esper, gets a Thunder Shield off of that dragon there. So we'll see. I think he's got all 3 different elemental shields, so at least his characters will know tier 2 versions of all of the elements. I don't know if he got the Magicite that you did that got really nice spells on it. He does pick up Phantom here, though, which is a nice pickup with Meteor on it. Yeah, he hasn't gotten any of the really, really good Espers that you've gotten yet. And we've got Shote from Cyan's Dream number 1. Yeah, Mog's checks, we kind of mentioned him earlier, right, with the buff to having an additional check, and the buff to Kefka and Narsh makes him a lot better, because you can sort of triple check that area now with relatively ease, and they all sort of connect into one another. Unfortunately for you, this is Shadow here at the Dream, and it looks like Zenobian is going to follow you in as well.
Yeah, so Shadow, if I'm not mistaken, has sword tech, so, you know, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's kind of handy.
And so
the sword tech character, you recruit them in the Dream, that is the Dream.
Yep. So I switched the Strength +2 Esper to him just because I want to do Sword Tech 7.
Right.
And nothing will stop me from doing Sword Tech 7. And that scales off of Vigor. Right. So Vigor and nothing else, by the by. You can put a Dirk in Shadow's hands and it doesn't, like, it will do the same damage.
Yep. You have to give him a stat stick at that point. Alright, So now that we found Shadow, we don't know he has sword tech, but we will know as soon as we're done with this here. And that sends Cyan packing. Meanwhile, Zenobian's party composition is very different. He's got Gao and Realm with learning magic, but not great magic, and he's got all of those Illuminous. So we'll see what he decides to do once he picks up his next character here.
Yeah, his offense is pretty amazing, and I wish I had Illuminous. I don't think I find it. I don't find any of the seed. I think that Tzen Thief is a Ragnarok. I think I buy it in World of Ruin for some low price.
Yeah, having the swords is always nice just because they're faster and it's a guaranteed source of damage, where everything except, you know, maybe Magimaster gets hurt by one of those big swords, right? So.
Yes, indeed.
All right, so now that we got Shadow, I mean, obviously we'll see what happens next, but are you even thinking about Floating Continent at all when you already have 7 characters?
Not really. And the reason why is because Floating Continent is very long. In this particular instance, it probably would have been fine to go up there. You probably would have found 3 espers.
Yeah. Because what do you have left at this point? Did you do South Figaro Cave?
I haven't done...
It was a dead check, but yeah, so we haven't done Velt, we haven't done any of Mog's stuff, and we haven't done any of Edgar's stuff.
Right. Edgar's stuff I'm going to avoid for somewhat similar reasons as not going to FC.
Yep, it's rather arduous.
South Figaro Cave is Realm. I think I do South Figaro Cave.
Right, South Figaro Cave is Realm.
And it gets me Realm, and Realm is my 10th character, so, you know, do with that information what you will. But yeah, Mog's checks, when combined with, Narshcliff's it's 3 checks, and it's faster than FC, with the trade-off being that you don't get guaranteed progression out of FC, or out of Narsh checks.
Nice little sync here. One of you is awoken and one of you is not. Alright, that's Magicite number 5. So you still got 4 more to go. You haven't peeked at the Zen Thief yet. You haven't looked in the auction house yet.
Yeah, and so I'm thinking, okay, I have Shadow's free check. I have Mog's checks. I have a quick lock check. I still have Mount Zozo. So, like, there's plenty of checks that I can do that are all relatively quick.
Yeah, I agree. I don't even think about going to Floating Continent here. Unless you really want those levels for those Atma weapons, right? Because that's what you are going to be doing for offense for at least one of your characters, right?
Yeah, and I mean, like, if you're doing it for offense, then, you know, it's fine. Falcon Hit says Mog's checks and Kefket Nurse and FC are about the same amount of time. Maybe. It depends. If you smoke bomb,
I don't think so.
If you smoke bomb the encounters, like on the way to FC, it does probably end up being about the same amount of time.
I don't know. Maybe it's just placebo, but Mog's checks feel so much faster than Floating Continent. Yeah, the cutscene for the Moogle defense is a bit long and drawn out, but even still.
Yeah. That's one thing I should do, is just count the number of frames that it takes to do it, or the average number of frames to do it.
Yeah. Question in the chat about, is there any strategy to auction house check aside from luck? It is obviously based on luck. However, there are strategies to it. So in the world of Ruin, whenever you purchase a particular item, you remove it from the auction house pool. And the items that get put up for sale in the auction house are put up, they're not all equal. So there are 5 different items you could buy in the World of Ruin auction house. There is a $50,000 item, a $20,000 reward, a $10,000 reward, a $10,000 item, and then the Imp Robot. So the $50,000 item shows up 50% of the time. The $20,000 reward shows up 25% of the time. The $10,000 reward is whatever half of that is, 12.5%. And then the other 2 are 6.25% or whatever it is. So when you go into the auction house in the World of Ruin, half the time you'll get the $50,000 item and half the time you'll get the other stuff. If you buy the $50,000 item, it comes out of the pool, and that adjusts the values of all the other percentages. So now the $20,000 reward, which could be an Esper, is 50% of the time, and then everything else is twice as likely. So that's sort of, and it continues onward like that. So if there are 2 Espers in the auction house, your best bet is to buy the $50,000 item, because then the Esper that's at the 20,000 slot will show up half the time. The Esper at the $10,000 slot will show up 25% of the time, and then the other stuff is 12.5. Then on your second time into the auction house, you buy the $20,000 Esper, right? That increases the percentages of all the other items that are left. There are only 3 items left: the $10,000 reward, the $10,000 item, or the Imp Robot. So the $10,000 reward is 50% of the time, and the other 25% is the item, and then the last 25 is the Imp Robot. So that's usually why you see people buying stuff in the auction house in the World of Ruin, to reduce the chances that you'll be rebuying the same amount of stuff. So that's sort of the strategy. Buy the $50,000 item, buy the $20,000, whatever it is, go save, and if there's still an Esper in the auction house, then reset if you get one of the other 2 things. Never buy the $10,000 item, and obviously you can't buy the Imp Robot. So that's sort of the strategy there. Whew. I'm sorry if I ran through that. Sorry if I ran through that fast. I was trying to get through it at record speed.
One thing, when I came into Zozo, I hit a random encounter, and I did that. That was not on purpose. That was an accident. I didn't have a Moogle Charm equipped, but it was a Scullion. Scullions give a whole boatload of EXP and MP at the cost of taking. I think that fight took about a minute or so. So you could smoke bomb it, but my thought process is I'm basically fighting a boss, getting a boss's level worth of experience. Is that worth the levels? And I said yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Your Moogle Charm is probably on Cyan, who you jettisoned out of your party, right?
I think it is on Shadow at the moment.
Yeah, but it was on Cyan, right? And that's why
you
got
course.
into the forced encounter. So
Cyan has literally no other use, so yeah.
Alright, so you and Zeno are switching places a little here. There was an Esper at Velt Cave. We just saw Zenobian pick it up. And it looks like he's going to get his Esper and his Moogle here. See if he takes the dragon. You're at level... I didn't see it. I thought it said 26.
If I ever know my levels, it's because I'm scared of Doomgaze.
Yeah, I think Zenobian's levels are slightly higher here, looking just at his HP totals.
Yeah, at this point, I think Zenobian's in a lot better spot than I am. I'm ahead of him in progression, but I think that, at least at the moment, his offense is still better.
Yeah. I don't... Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I misread. I'll have to see when you're in battle. So for Auction House, I will go there if I will combo... Okay, never mind. You're at level 30. Maybe it was just your Shadow that was a little bit lower.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're both at 30 apiece. So your levels are identical here. Yeah, so for Auction House, I will try and combo it with Realms check of Owzer's Mansion. So I will do that, and if I know that I'm doing that, I'll take extra fights in Owzer's Mansion to get more money. It costs 80,000 GP to buy the $50,000 item, the $20,000 reward, and the $10,000 reward. So I want to have at least enough stuff to get to 80,000 GP to buy out the auction house. And the reason to do it earlier rather than later is to take advantage of Esper bonuses, right? And the only problem is you increase scaling without fighting, because auction house you don't have to take any battles. So that's the risk reward you have. But so if I'm near World of Ruin Jador, so if I do Mount Zozo, I might stop in there and see what's going on. So it really depends. But I used to do auction house first in some of my other races. I think back when standard race flags was 7 and 10 instead of 6 and 9, I used to do auction house first all the time.
Yeah, that's not a strat that I normally do. If only because I think of auction house more as like a late game thing when you've got either the money or the things to sell to get the money.
Right.
Here you pet the dog because of course you do.
All right. Well, you didn't suplex the train, but you pet the dog. So
Yeah, I pet the dog and I get the validation chest. So like 2 out of 3. You know, some professors in college will pass you in 2 out of 3.
I don't know if Zenobian suplexed the train. Where did we fight train? That was Doma, right?
That was Dome Siege, yeah.
He definitely went there. It's alright, both of you disqualified. Let's just turn this race off now.
Oh, no! So he's gonna pick up his Moogle here.
Yep.
I don't know why I'm chopping. Like, I don't need anything. This is just a mistake.
Yeah. Looting treasure also a mistake?
Yeah, maybe a bit. On the other hand, you never know what you find in the shops. So
Yeah, I mean, what's your armor look like?
it's.
Not
I mean,
great.
it's okay. I have elemental protection, and that's kind of the only thing that I really care about.
Yeah.
Here I sell a bunch of stuff to just buy whatever the
To Zen Thief is selling.
thief has. And I hope that it is an Esper. It is not.
Yeah, so you have Burton, I think, on one of your Espers, apparently.
I do.
So then it doesn't matter. You just need elemental protection for your needs.
Yeah, and I screw up though because I don't think I ever cast it. I don't know if I ever got. Well, so I know that there's Thunder Shields at Nikea.
Yep.
Now in this run, I don't know if I know or I don't know if I remember that they're there. But they definitely exist. So in theory, I could get the elemental protection needed, and I just don't.
Yeah. We have red jackets as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so here's another Esper for you, and you guys are just on each other's toes, neck and neck here. 8778. 8675309. So now Zenobian is kind of out of like quick checks, so he's gonna do the Moogle trifecta here. And so are you.
Oh, do I even do the trifecta though? I think I skip. No, I think I do. I skip the other one. I think I skip.
Oh, the Moogle defense.
The Moogle defense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think if I'm in this position, I save outside of Narsh. I do the Moogle defense to peek what it is, and if it's a character, then I just reset and I go up.
Well, at this point, I'm at 7 characters, and surprise, there's 2 characters up here.
Well, I mean that's the other thing, right? Is like if I was in Zenobian shoes, then I'm like, yes, I got skip, right? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think I would still reset and go all the way up here. Don't ask Gar about movies. He's the worst at spoilers. I know, right?
Yeah, I know.
I
know. Darth Vader is Luke's father.
And here's Go-Go. All right, interesting. So
yeah, Go-Go and then
if,
Celeste up there
we'll see if Zenobian takes Go-Go or takes the item. Aura Lance. He doesn't really need the Aura Lance. Yeah, if it was anything else.
Well, I don't know because again, he has skip.
Yeah, he's got skip. That's his skip, and he's gonna go and do this anyway. Because he's only level 31. Maybe he's like, hey, if I do this, yeah, I get another character, but I'm also getting levels, and I don't have to walk all the way down there.
Maybe. So yeah, this will put him up to 10, but then he's also got like some really quick checks to do for Espers. He's got Basement and then Magitech 1 and 2.
Yeah. Yeah, so Magitech got a buff with Season 3, where you get the Magitech upgrade if you go all the way through to the end. But I still like leaving Magitech for last to get my 8th and 9th Espers. But I try not to go all the way to the end. Yeah, let's see what you do here. Go-Go is available. So is an Aura Lance.
Because I'm at 7 and I see 2 characters, I get both of them because that's my skip.
Yep, that makes total sense.
I was debating it pretty fiercely for a while, then I was like, that's dumb. One of the characters is Celeste.
Yeah. Especially because, like, you can go and get that character, right? Maybe if that... What would that item had to have been for you to not get Go-Go there?
Oh, I don't even know. Like, maybe a shield, maybe a Minerva, but... Like, in my situation, I don't think
since you're trying to use that one weapon?
No, not at this point. It's a little bit too late for the egg. Which is a weird thing to say, but it's true. It's true.
Yeah.
Also, I think I screwed up here.
You could always go and get Go-Go, like, later on, you know?
Go down the mountain, then just go back up. Get the cardio in.
No, you just go to the mines in the World of Ruin.
Oh, that's fair. But
yeah,
that's also...
that's why I asked. It's like if it's an Illumina, Ragnarok, you know, experience egg. I think if it's one of those like few items, as I'm trying to round out my party, maybe a Valiant Knife for Locke. You know. Yeah.
Also, I make a mistake here. Edgar currently has an Atma weapon and a Ragnarok equipped. And he also has an offering, so that's wrong. Don't do that.
A lot of swinging.
Yeah, I mean, it winds up not mattering too much for this fight, and I realize basically, like, immediately, oh, I have screwed up.
Yep. It was at this moment he knew. So, so you were gonna go Genji Glove Atma weapon? Is that what you're doing?
Yes, that's the plan. So okay. Edgar just gets the Atmas.
The lightsabers, if you will. Interesting, because I never do Genji Glove Atma weapon. For me, like, this too often you're not at the correct HP threshold. You know, it's too easy to lose HP when you don't have a shield. I guess it depends on what armor he's got. If he's got a snow muffler, then fine. It's probably okay. But
I think the snow muffler's on Gao. I don't remember what Edgar has. I don't think it's that great. It might be okay. But yeah, like tier 1 of Final Kefka is very, very punchy. So very, very leery of that.
And there is your skip with your 9th character.
Yeah, and I don't even look at Celeste. I don't care. My party's figured out. I know what I'm doing.
Alright, so you're going to do a little safety save here. Or you're not even doing a safety save. You're saying, let me go right to Magitech, and I'm done.
I think actually I do figure okay first, just because it's a little faster. And then that winds up being Realm, and I'm very mad.
Yeah, so Zenobian's bosses are very high level, as Falconet's pointing out in the chat. They are, what is that, 38? Right? So, very lucky that he drew only a Rage, and not something like, you know, Meteo or Goner or Ultima.
Yeah. He likes to give me Goner. Or Ultima. I don't ever get Raid. Sometimes I get, like, Wombat or Wump. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, that's always fun, too. Interestingly, Zenobian's characters are only level 34, you know, whereas his scaling is now 40. So he's fighting against his progression here. And you're going to get another character here.
Yeah, again, normally I'm happy to see Realm. Not in this case.
No. It's way too late for her to be useful and effective, although she does have one very, very fast check, which does help.
Yeah. So in theory, I could have gone to South Figaro and looked at the basement here, but I wanted to do this because it gives me levels. And again, I want levels. I have a sword attacking Shadow and an Octa swinging Edgar. But I see Realm here, and yeah, Zenobian gets the very trolly EXP egg.
Yep. Hey, here's your 10th character. Oh, have an experience egg behind them. So yeah, we got almost the whole crew here. Yeah, I would have went straight to Magitech at this point, or either one of you, right? You're both one Esper off.
Well, you check Figaro first just because it's faster, and it can also be an Esper. And I was very hopeful because I mean it was
Merchant Sprite, yeah.
Yeah. But no.
All right, so it's going to be neck and neck here because you both are going to end up getting go mode relatively within a few moments of one another. And
yeah, because Magitech 1 is an Esper, so
yeah, so I think the differences were basically you did Phoenix Cave, Zenobian did
Zenobian did Moogle Defense.
Oh, that's right, Moogle Defense. Those are the differences in your runs here.
Yep.
Because otherwise your enemies are thick with 2 C's right now. Because they're level 40. Level 40. Never a fun place to be.
So I get the EXP egg, and even though it is very late, you can still milk some value out of it. So I do put it on for one of these fights.
Yeah.
All of these fights, I don't know.
So
I think I put it on Shadow.
I think you had mentioned that it was a mistake for you not to do the Moogle Defense, right?
I think so. The reason why I don't do it is because I don't know how to do it properly yet, and I still don't know how to do it properly yet. I need to practice the skip.
Yeah, Zenobian didn't do the skip either. It's not difficult, and it doesn't save all that much time, but it looks cool.
It does look really cool, and that's what my streams are all about, is looking cool.
Yeah, that's it. Who cares if you win?
Yeah.
Winning's not important.
I already lost the seed. I didn't suplex the train.
That's it. You already were disqualified. So, what's up, Moogleplex? Thank you for the raid. Appreciate it.
Hey, Moogleplex.
And we got the Chad saying goodnight to Edgar for Zenobian, which is not good when you want to get levels on your characters.
I don't know how he died. Edgar's dual-wielding Illuminas. He is... Like, Illumina is the second best shield in the game,
we can go back if you want to go back. Do you want to do a little instant replay?
Nah, it's all good.
It'll screw up the timer, but... it'll really mess things up. Yeah. And now Locke is dead. What is going on with Zenobian's party here? And this is definitely one of the trollier fights in the game.
I do not like Chatternug. He is very dangerous, and basically
at this level. Well, especially at this level, he's just going to cast tier 3 lightning spells anyway the entire time.
Yeah. So, like, unless you're kitted out in Thunder Shields, he's gonna hurt.
Oh, there's a water edge. Yeah, 2,500 on an Illumina swing is a little weak. 1,300 with an Atma weapon is also a little weak too. But at least you're getting 8 of those, right?
I am getting 8 of those, and it would have been better if I had kept the.
And you would have gotten away with it too.
The strength plus 2 Esper on him. Yeah.
Go mode first there for Zeno. He's level 37, it looks like, and his bosses are going to be level 42. Whereas, let's see what you're rocking with here. Yeah, there's the Magicite. So when you get skip, do you want to do skip right away, or do you, go into Kefka's Tower and fight a fight to get higher levels? Because you're at 37.
Yeah.
I guess the question is, what's the difference between... So the difference between standard and skip, right, is 6 levels, essentially, on enemies. Does that 6 levels mean much? Does it matter to you, when you're fighting in Kefka's Tower? Maybe that's also a question for the chat.
It doesn't matter much to me. Well, it generally doesn't matter. I'll put it to you that way. With this party, my offense is pretty high, so I'm less inclined to care. If I'm coming into Kefka's Tower significantly weaker, maybe I don't have as much elemental protection, or my offense is just kind of bad, then if I have skip, I may elect not to go in immediately. Pop in with a stacked party 3 and knock out a boss and maybe the dragon, but otherwise, no, I'm just go.
Yeah.
If you've got the skip, you've been in the seed way too long. It's time to go.
See, I will, if I feel very underleveled by the time I get my requirements, I will sometimes go for skip. If I'm at level 25 and I unlock Kefka, I'm like, oh god, I'm really underleveled. Then I'm just like, hey, let's just go for skip, because not only will I be getting levels by defeating bosses, but I'll just not have to do that much walking either.
Yeah.
Yeah, so first boss up is not a big deal. It's, you're using lock with casting here, whereas Zenobian's lock has got the Illumina, so advantage to Zenobian. Unfortunately, the Gru happens. There goes Go-Go.
Yeah, and I don't get Gru here.
Cycle? Oh, very nice. So
yeah.
there's a nice advantage for you. Kill Lock, not Lock. Kill Welk as fast as you possibly can, because you'll see there the Gru just cost Zenobian a lot of time. He was to this fight first, but just couldn't sneak in the damage fast enough.
Yep. Yeah, it's rough. Gru is just such a time loss.
And to be honest, it was mostly an RNG roll, because your damages were about the same. Your Ice 3 was about the same that he was hitting his, whatchamacallit for. His swing for.
Was Zeno weight tricking at all? I wasn't paying too much attention.
Oh, maybe not.
Because that's a big thing with that fight. You have to weight trick if you're off it. Unless you're gonna one shot him or whatever, you have to weight trick.
That makes sense. All right, so Zenobian's got just Edgar here in the middle party, whereas you have Shadow and Edgar. So we'll see what the difference is here, as we have the third of our 4th Ultroses. Celeste had jump too. Interesting.
And if I recall correctly, there were dragon horns in the Colosseum, but
yes, I did see those. I don't think Zenobian just picked up the Illuminas, not the dragon horn.
Yeah. And I mean, that makes sense. You don't have anybody with the Dragoon boots. You don't have anybody with jump.
I didn't see what the item trade was either. Right?
Tonic, I think.
Oh. Then, yeah, if I have Edgar, I do it. Right? Because Edgar can naturally equip a bunch of lances. And yeah, you gotta hope that you're gonna find Dragoon boots in the seed. Although, at the time that Zenobian went to the Colosseum, it was weird, because it wasn't right away. It was a bit later. So I thought that was very interesting. And we got piranhas, and you guys are both just chilling here.
Yeah. So I basically just wait out a single piranha for a bit. And then hope I get lucky, and of course I don't.
Yep.
This attack by Edgar is probably a mistake, but at the same time, you want to waste some time.
Yeah.
So.
Ooh, Ursopa's not playing around. Really not playing around. Although Cyan's probably got no armor on. And there it is. Your Rasopa's kill, and this will be Zenobian's as well. Very nice. Alright, so we got one more boss left, and I think I know which one it is. Not a lot of scary bosses in this seed at all.
No, this was a
Baba,
very...
Chatternook, Air Force.
Chatternook is probably the worst one.
Air Force at the very beginning of the game.
That's
Inferno.
true.
Well, you also ran into Inferno too, right? In the sky.
I did run into Inferno in the sky, yes, and that was terrifying. Again, because I hadn't saved, and Inferno was just rude in general. But fortunately, he didn't do. I had Ice 3, and everything was fine.
Alright, so here we go. Zenobian's gonna get to him first. Ultros 2. Oh. I thought it was Ultros 2.
Oh, maybe we don't miss maybe we don't get Ultros 2. There's one seed where we fought all the Ultros.
I don't remember. Yeah, I think the Espers are mostly the same. I don't remember which one he got from Phoenix Cave versus which one he got from Moogle Defense. We'll obviously see when the menus come up. But Niles and Frazier are not going to get another spin-off, so see you later, guys. Look at you, still using those Super Balls. Let's go!
Super Balls are awesome, because if you've got a crappy party member who doesn't know how to do anything, they know how to throw a Super Ball.
If you could throw a Super Ball, you could be useful.
Exactly.
Even you. Yeah, so let's see if... we're not even going to see the skills menu there for Zenobian. Stepping on the statues first. I think Phantom will be the order of the day for Calmness Protection for both of our runners here.
I think I cast it.
You are about 10 seconds behind at this point. Very close. Alright, so talk to me about what you like to do for your final Kefka battle, for your party composition, things like that. What are you looking for? What do you usually do on Tier 1 here?
Tier 1, so Long Arm is vulnerable to instant death. So if I have instant death, and hey, I do, yes. That is basically, chore number 1, instant death, Long Arm, and then item number 2 is hit head with a lot of stuff until it dies.
Kill it with fire.
Kill it with fire, quite literally.
Yep.
And then
so
short arm.
I'm sorry.
Short arm is basically my nemesis. I don't know why it likes to crit me. I don't know if it has like increased crit chance or something. I think I'm just getting unlucky, but
yeah. So Zenobian does not have instant death, but he did have break. So he used break on long arm there. He will not, however, be able to use break against second tier, and his long arm is dead and his head is dead already. That's the power of the Illuminous Wings.
Yep.
And you got unlucky with the R polarity, so you had to reset your team a little bit here.
I think I get a second R polarity too.
Yeah, and the other interesting thing here is you have 2 characters that have non-targetable damage. So when you do that, do you tend to like take it easy with them in Tier 1 because you don't want to kill head last?
Yes. It's especially an issue for Edgar, because Edgar is very soft. And like especially what likes to happen is I kill he just took 2/3 of his life right there. Yep. I kill the short arm with like my offering user, and he counters and kills that character, and then he's dead.
Yep.
And then we go up the tier, and I just start crying.
Yep. Yeah, so Edgar at this moment is pretty useless because he's just got his Atma weapons. Meanwhile, Zenobian onto tier 2. Yeah, you got 2 reverse polarities. I usually only see 1, but getting 2 is rough. And there you see the strength plus 2 Esper coming in there. Almost, what is that? 16,000 damage in one turn with Shadow. Very nice.
Yeah.
So we do have access to Ice 3, which is good for Tiger. Zenobian does not have instant death. I don't think he's got mute, although I remember seeing the Siren Esper somewhere, so maybe he cast it already and I didn't notice it.
I think the mute spell is available.
Well, Zenobian did not use it. There you go. So
here I just get Siren.
Yeah. So maybe that was the difference. Did you get Siren from Phoenix Cave? Maybe that's...
Siren was the Phoenix Cave Esper, yeah.
There you go. So, even though it was questionable at the time, Phoenix Cave coming back to give you some good stuff. So there's your instant death.
One thing about Tier 2 is that the first 3 actions, which are magic casting a spell, tools doing whatever tools does, and then hitting, those 3 things will happen, and there's nothing you can do about it, like unless you jump or something.
Yeah, it looks like Zenobian's struggling because his lock got confused, and every time one of his characters tries to hit lock blocks it because he's got no Lumina. And then he just destroyed Gao. So, you used Morph with Edgar, but it doesn't look like he's doing twice as much damage with the Atma weapon. Oh, his health is not very high. Never mind.
His health isn't maxed out right now. I think he got hit before he swung.
So are you going to do... Are you trying for Permamorph here? Is that like the ultimate goal? Or are you just trying to get more damage?
I mean, a little bit of both. Obviously, Permamorph is nice. I don't have a great way of getting it here. I'm not good with the timing. I don't think I have Quick either.
Yeah.
Quick would be like a nice, easy way to do it.
Yeah. I usually just don't wait trick in tier 2 if I try to do Permamorph, but yeah, Edgar's gonna die
it doesn't
anyway.
matter. Edgar gets killed, so, you know.
Yeah. You could also put Edgar to sleep, right? I did see you had access to the sleep spell. Sleep will also work. But you have to time that because sleep will wake you up, and if you wake up and you still have bar, then you're like, darn it.
At that point, though, like, how much are you really getting out of the Permamorph?
Yeah.
You know, just a tad.
Yeah, so you can use Quick for Permamorph because I believe the Permamorph bar still goes down while someone else is in there Quick.
Yeah. It has to be somebody else that uses Quick, though. It cannot be the morphed character.
Right. And with access to instant death and mute, you are on to tier 3 prior to Zenobian, just barely ahead of him here. A few seconds difference. So having the tools to deal with tier 2 and Zenobian getting a little unlucky with that muddle is the difference here.
Yeah, Googleplex, you're welcome.
Alright, so now we are on tier 3, and Zenobian has Illuminas for Girl, whereas you have to deal with this W-Wind, thankfully not making your Edgar useless, so now you could go ham with Edgar, and you could use Shadow. And we'll see what you do about Calmness.
So I did have a wonderful experience week 2 of my Ultros League seed where I fought Inferno at one of the statue bosses. Mm-hmm. I had an offering Atma weapon Setzer who got targeted by Launcher, and every single one of the Launcher missiles hit Setzer, and it still killed him. Phenomenal. I loved it. It is maybe my favorite thing to ever happen in this game.
Alright, so here comes the Phantom. We don't know if we've got the Meteo phase yet. And it looks like we're just going to swing away with Edgar with Morph. He's doing 2,000 a pop times 8. That's 16,000. So we'll see if 16,000 damage is enough here. It is not, but then Shadow queues up his Sword Tech 7, and oh no, it's a disaster.
Yeah, this was not good. So I have to pop the Mega here.
Yep, you pop it here because if you don't get past this part of the fight, then you don't get to Tier 4, right? Most runners will save it for Tier 4, but if you don't get to Tier 4, you can't use it. So yeah, I would have, I don't know. At that point, you would have had to have either counted or gotten him into Medio first. And here comes the calmness. Clutch block from Gal.
Yeah. That was the strat. Like as soon as Phantom was up, you know, just YOLO.
Yeah.
You might as well. You have nothing else going on.
So here's Zenobian. Did the morph and did not punch through with enough damage there. Hopefully he doesn't get a counter. Ice baby. Come on, Gal, let's see it. Another 6,000. There's the calmness. So not really the way you draw it up, but hey, Zenobian will take it. And we have both of you up to final Kefka with your entire crew intact. Edgar has significantly more morph bar on Zenobian, and his damages will do higher damage, so we'll see if that helps. But Shadow coming in here with Sword Tech 7 plus these Atma weapon offerings will account for 32,000 damage on their own. So that means that we're going to skip the Fallen One phase completely of Kefka for you, Gar.
Yeah, I skipped Fallen One. I think I still hit the I think I still hit a Gunner for some reason.
Alright, so here comes the Hyperdrive, and that will nullify one of your two big damage dealers, but you have life 2, which is a godsend with an Atma weapon user for sure. Alright, so here comes the charge for Goner. I think the problem is Sword Tech doesn't freeze your ATB, and that's, like, I think what screws it up most of the time. Meanwhile, on Zenobian's side, Realm is down, and the charge up for Goner is happening here. Edgar is still morphed. That's 15,000 and another almost 4. That's 20. We'll see if this is enough to do it here. And there it is, Gar with Crack Pow. Then Zenobian with Crack Pow.
Okay, I don't get your gun right there. Maybe so Seed Bleed is real.
I think there's like a 4-second difference, 5-second difference in this race. I'd have to go back and look.
I think with the way that we timed it, it was 3 seconds. But I mean, account for you know, some latency and actually stopping and starting your timer.
Yeah, so let's see. Week 3 Elixir.
Yeah, Falcon hit. That must have been a that might have actually been my week 2 seed too, where I caught a Gunner.
Yeah, so 117.56 versus 117.59 was your finals there for both of our competitors. So excellent job for you, Gar. Obviously, watching back your runs in real time is very painful because you're always yelling at yourself, "Get out of the menu! What are you doing, you idiot!" Right?
Oh God, like, it doesn't even matter how much time is spent in the menu. As soon as I hit the X button to open it up, I'm like, I've already spent way too much time here.
Yep. Definitely. So, yeah, for this particular run, you know, you guys did mostly similar checks, but your offenses were radically different, where Zenobian found some Illuminas in the Coliseum when you used the Atma weapon and Sword Tech for Shadow there to great effects. So going forward, what's one thing that you'll take, I guess, from this run and you'll utilize in your future runs, and what's one thing from this run that you'd like to forget that it ever happens and you won't do it again?
Ooh. So one thing that I need to do is probably take a look more at the Coliseum. Having early Illuminas would have made my run a lot smoother. And I mean, obviously that was an outlier. You're not guaranteed to find Illuminas at all. But if you've got a Yeti, it makes the Coliseum just turbo easy because all the Yeti could do is hit things real hard. So go to the Coliseum, take a look at that. You lose maybe 20 seconds if you peek and don't get anything. And then, depending on what you fight there, it's maybe a little bit longer, but if you get a good reward out of it, it's worth it. One thing that I need to fix is it always comes down to menus. I open up the menu way too much. And it's just, I forget to do things when I have the menu open the first time, that as soon as I close the menu, I'm like, oh, wait, I need to go and swap relics around, equip espers, equip gear, things like that. So, yeah.
And then one thing, obviously, you want to keep doing, that you did well in this run.
I think my routing is pretty good. Just overall, I like how I did things.
You avoided Edgar's checks, which is something I always do because Edgar's checks are terrible. So I agree with you there.
I'm pretty good at recognizing when my offense is good enough to get started, and then just going and doing stuff then. So that'll be what I continue to refine going forward, and otherwise, yeah, just gonna stay the course.
Awesome. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. That race was very, very close. As far as your division goes, you are in Elixir B. You are currently in first place with 27 points. Zelfer in second with 21. Seto with 18. So given that you have such a decent-sized lead, are you going to take some more risks? Are you going to play it more conservatively to keep your lead? Because first place does give you a lot more points than second place does, so there's always time for other runners to catch up. So, what are your thoughts there, being in first through the midway point so far in the Ultros League Season 3?
I don't really take a whole lot of risks to begin with. I think I tend to play pretty conservatively. And it probably costs me a little bit of time. I can probably afford to be a little bit more risky, but I'm at the moment, I think I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. And yeah, I'm in first, but like there's a lot of heavy hitters in Elixir B. I'm only in first because I don't know. I always say that I get lucky, and that's not 100% true, but I think it's like 75% true.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. And I mean, we've still got half a season left. I haven't done my week 5 run yet, so anything can happen. So, one thing that I will not be doing is resting on my laurels.
Yeah, so let's take a look. Do I have this? Can I do this? Oh, beautiful. I'm so good at production. Anyway, so yeah, so here is the Ultros League Elixir B standings, if you will. And look at the average race times between 1 and 6. They're within, 6 minutes of one another. It's almost 7 minutes of one another, right? That is ridiculous. So
me and Zelfer are 2 seconds apart.
Yeah, you and Zelfer are 2 seconds apart, and then, Seto and Green Monkey are 30 seconds apart. Squack's average timer is actually better than both of them, right? So there's a lot of, and Zenobian, we just saw in that race, finished 3 seconds behind. So he was in second place with that particular week. So yeah, anything could happen when you have racers of this caliber, and the separation is not very much here between all of you. So
what I might actually do is just start sandbagging because I don't want to go to Mega Elixir, but
that's my strategy. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. And I don't know, I can't sandbag. I have 1 speed and it's go.
Yeah. Yep. Don't you dare. Well, you do get to have 2 of your lowest races forgiven. So there is always that. So these points are as they are now, but again, stat adjustments may happen based on dropping the 2 lowest times. So it may turn out to be closer than you think. So You
Yeah.
you never want to give up weeks unless you're like, oh god, I really screwed this up. Like I had an Ultros League seed like a couple of weeks ago where it took me 4 tries to kill Kefka, and I'm like, yeah, this is the one I'm dropping.
When I first started, so I started playing this game about halfway through season 1 of Ultros League, and I forfeited, I think 2 of those races. So I started week 4, and yeah, week 5, week 6 were forfeits for me. So
Yep.
don't forfeit. By the way, if you are currently in the Ultros League, do not forfeit. It like you automatically get a maximum time. It just
Even if
don't
you finish
do it.
the seed, you get 1 point. If you don't finish the seed, you get 0 points.
Yeah,
That's the pitch there. And of course, don't hesitate to join Ultros League. You will get put in the bottom tier to start out with, but don't worry. You could work your way up, and you'll generally be placed amongst where people you are kind of your peers in terms of racing. I've been in Elixir for 3 seasons now, and I'm definitely not good enough for Mega Elixir. So I don't know what I'm doing still in Elixir. Somebody hasn't knocked me out yet, but that's just the way it goes. So, but you also get to do races with people around your skill level, and you get to talk about the seeds afterwards in sort of a spoiler room. So it's a really great way to both improve your game and to meet other members of the community, and the community is fantastic as well. So highly encourage
absolutely. It's a ton of fun. If you're not in the Ultros League, go sign up right now. ultrasleague.com. It is not too late, although you are coming in on the back half of the season, but that's okay because season 4 is right around the corner. No, I don't have release dates. Yes, that's all Double Down. No, I am not Double Down. I cannot tell you when the release dates are, but presumably we'll have a season 4.
Yeah, you'll stay in the tonic division. There is no dried meat division.
One day
you'll be in the tonic division. So, but any other closing thoughts on anything from your seed or Ultros League or anything in general, Gar, before we get out of here?
I don't think so. Thank you, Schwantz, for putting this together. It was a ton of fun. Zenobian is obviously a top quality racer.
Yeah, he was the runner-up in the Coliseum tournament. So
yeah, and I mean, I got knocked out of the Coliseum very early on, so
Same.
that just goes to show you, the caliber of players that we have playing this game. So it's awesome to be a part of a community that is it's just phenomenal. So yeah, no, that's all I've got.
Yeah, all right. Well, thank you so much, Gar, for taking some time out of your day to break this down a little bit. I'm glad that some of these review streams are getting rave reviews, in the Twitch chat and in the comments section. So we will do more of them as long as there are close races, and believe me, there will be some close races here in Ultros League. On Wednesday, we'll be on Speed Gaming at 8 p.m. Eastern, where we'll be doing a Tonic E race, hopefully. And if we are not doing that, then we are going to do a run of what is called the Living Seed. It's basically an asynchronous weekly race in our Discord where you join the race, you get to change 2 of the flags from whatever the flag set was from the previous week, and then you play it. It recently just got reset, so there are a lot of brand new ideas that we're testing out. There's some pretty wild ones in here. I think this most recent seed, somebody said, hey, let's change it from a 3-character start into only Gogo and Umaro. And I was like, no, I don't want that. Let me change YNPC to remove, so at least we have more checks than just Zone Eater and Yeti Cave, right? So it's really fun where you could do things like that and interact with the people in the race and change the flags to be lots of different things, and you could try out new settings. It's great. So anyway.
Yeah, definitely tune into that. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, so it depends on if we get runners for Tonic E or not, but Wednesday 8 p.m. Speed Gaming, that'll be that, and hopefully everybody enjoys. Thank you so much again for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.
Good night, everybody.